Alright, how's it going, everybody? Sorry last week was a little bit short on videos for GT6. I've been dealing with some mic issues. I just got a brand new mic, which kind of showed me that the issues I was having with the old mic may not have been the old mic, because this is a much, much better mic. That it actually has to do with my computer, because if I unplug my mic completely, I have this background noise, and when I stop talking, you should hear what sounds like rain in the background. I have done a whole lot of work to make that as minimal as possible, and I've got a few more ideas I need to try, but I really need to get a video out for you guys. So hopefully I'm not too quiet. Hopefully we can get through this. So we're working on the distillation tower today, and I am making, first off, a buzzsaw. And to do so, we need a steel buzzsaw blade, because the bronze uses 2 small bronze gears, a steel buzzsaw blade, diamond dust, and a robust machine haul. Now there is let's do this. There's also the steel buzzsaw, which uses cobalt brass, which needs aluminum. And the only reason why you really need this one is for cutting up gem plates, and we're not to that point yet. And we're going to be doing a lot of cutting, so I want to keep the recipes not overclocked for right now. So we're just going with this one because it doesn't use aluminum, which we need to make tons of. So we'll take that out, and we'll put our tools back real quick here. And then we need a robust, 2 small gears, the buzzsaw blade, a diamond dust, and a wrench, and that'll give us our buzzsaw. And that'll also get us a quest. As you just seen in the machine age, there is our buzzsaw. So give me my cookie. And we're going to put this right up here on top. It needs to be powered from the back like most of the other ones. So we're just going to put this here. We're going to put the engine here. We're going to put the buzzsaw right there. So now we can knock this out of here. And if we look at the buzzsaw, the energy goes in the back, as we just said. Items go from left to right, and fluids go in the bottom automatically, or they can go in the top. Now for fluid, you can use either water or you can use lubricant. And if we look at, say, let's just look up right here, oak plank in the cutter. If you use water, it's 384 ticks. You get 6 planks out of a log, along with some bark. And if you do lubricant, it's only 128 ticks for 6 planks and a bark. Now, granted, what you want to do is an oak beam, which will give you 7 planks, and an oak pulp, because the oak beam you can run through a debarker, which will give you your bark there. So it'll give you an extra plank, and it'll give you an extra sawdust, because bark is equal sawdust, basically. So we're going to be making one of these as well soon, but That is not what we need today. So it's not what we're doing today. Because what we're here for today is to get the distillation parts done. So I'm going to run that up there for our fuel. And the reason why I need this is because I wanted to automate making my stainless into rods, which I have a whole bunch of right here. By the way, right there's my monkey wrench I was looking for a long time ago. And for the distillation tower parts, we need to make, as the tower says here, 3 by 3 by 8. So that's 9 times 8, so that's 72. So we need to make 72 of this block. And that needs screws. And I don't believe we have 72 times 4, which would be 144, will be 288 screws we need. And for stainless steel screws, we have 64 and 16. And then we have some stainless rods here. Now, I could go and pour all of that as bolts, but if you've seen us on the server make a bolt pour, it takes a ton of molds to do, and this is doing 9 at a time because of the stainless recipe being 9 elements, 6 iron, a manganese, a chrome, and a nickel, so it pours 9 at a time. So we'd have to have 9 times 8, so 72 molds to do it all in one pour. So I would rather cut them down, which is what we're doing. Now, luckily, we went and found that, those GregTech ports, and we actually have lubricant right here that we can use and get rid of. But we can also make lubricant in a mixer with redstone and some type of oil. Seed oil, creosote oil, regular oil, nut oil, olive oil, fish oil. You name it, it'll make it. 1 liter, 1,000 liters to 1,000 liters with just a talc or redstone. And so we're going to use this. Normally we don't use things that we don't already have the ability to make, but since we technically have the ability to make it, we're going to go ahead and use it. So we throw that on top, and there we go. We have our lubricant in there. Now I just need to do the math and figure out exactly how many of these I'm going to need, and also figure out where in the world, there they are, my other chests are. So there's that. Now we just need to get this put in here. Now, another thing is when we get into circuits, which we are going to be doing very soon, we will also need this for cutting up our silicon buell. So, killing multiple birds with one stone here. So, now that we got that hooked up, we can take our long rods and put them in. Go ahead and turn this on. And why did that, hello? Cutter. Oh, this needs 32 for that, not 16. Okay. Regroup. Forgot. Wood needs 16. Metal stuff needs 32. So, I need to make a steel one. And if I don't mess with the machine, we won't lose the recipe that's in there. We won't lose our steel, or our stainless steel. So give me a minute. We'll be right back. And I will get this made because I can do steel or Invar. Steel will give us the 32 we need. Invar will give us 64, which is the max of the machine. I'm gonna go ahead and do Invar just because it's gonna make the recipes for us faster. No real reason to go for steel. So be right back when I have that made. All right, there's our diesel engine. Now we can put this up here and hook this up. And now we won't hear that clunk noise, and we will cut our stainless steel long rods into stainless steel rods. Now, granted, we could do this with a handsaw, but it would take up durability of our handsaw and it would be lossless. But cutting it into bolts would not be. In here, cutting them into bolts is lossless. So if you look at the bolts, if you do it with a handsaw, you only get 2. If you do it with the cutter, you get 4. So that is the recipe we're going with. And that'll make us a big old buttload of bolts, which we can then throw into the lathe and make into screws to get our tower parts done. And for the tower parts, we need 2 plates and a small stainless steel pipe. So we're going to need technically 3 plates times 72. So I'm going to start getting all of that together. We also need 9 of these heat transmitters, which needs triple pipe plates and a long rod, and then Invar plates, and we need 9 of these. So I'm going to get all of this crafted up, and I'll be back with you and we'll set up a distillation tower. Alright, so here we are making a new bending cylinder, because I have managed to go through a bending cylinder, a wrench, a hammer, and a screwdriver just trying to make these parts. And make that 2 wrenches. I'm going to go ahead and just finish this off with that one. I gotta get 8 more here. Okay. So now that I've managed to break every tool some twice, let's get this together. So first off, we need to make 8 of these 9-inch pipes. We have our 72 distillation tower parts here. And now we need to surround that one, and that makes our controller. Now I need to turn these into triple copper plates. Along with, I need Invar plates. So there's our refinement quest done. Grab a stack of Invar here. So we need triple copper plates times 9 times 2. So we're going to need 18 triples. So let's make 18 doubles. There we go. And then we put these back together. And there's our 18 triples. So that goes like that. These around like that. And then we need a hammer and a wrench. Again, with the wrench. Alright, so there is the 9 of those. And we can throw these back down there. So, if we go into, it's not in stainless. Where is this? Oil and plastics. So, first off, have some raw oil. Or light oil, regular oil, heavy oil. For some reason, very heavy oil and salt sand oil is not in here. Which all can be used. And then refinement is make those. It probably should also have the heat transfers. And now it wants us to make butane, which we will make along with a whole lot of other things. So let's go get this hooked up. And we're gonna need tanks for all of this. And I'm thinking we're gonna put the tanks probably back along here. So we're just gonna build this right here. So we need something for it to sit on. And then these go on the very bottom. I can throw one of these down to step up on. Controller goes in the center. Bottom layer. And then we just fill all of this in. And you will notice as we fill it in, we will start to get holes here on the back, which will be the output holes. Unlike in GT5, there are no special blocks for that. They're all the same part. And then it just automatically forms your output when it's done. So that should be our distillation tower. Structure is formed already. And there are our outputs. Pick this up. And we need to put oil in here. And we need to get something to transfer heat into it. Now, one thing I really like to do is use heat exchangers with lava, but we have something else that's going to come out with that. So we need more infrastructure to deal with that. So we're just going to use probably solid fuel today. So if we look at very heavy oil in the distillation tower, we need 64 heat units. So let's look and see what we have for our old solid burning boxes. There's 2 that are 128. This will do nicely. This will give us 128. If you look at the distillation tower, its energy in is 512 because it's considered an HV, but it can go up to 1,024. But as you've seen, the recipe is only 64. We're going to do 128. So we have very heavy oil, heavy oil, regular oil, raw oil, light oil, and soul sand oil. Now the difference in them is what you get out of them. So depending on which thing you're looking for, it's the ratio of what you get out of them. So if we look at, we'll say heavy oil first, in the distillation tower, it is 35 for fuel, 25 for the other two liquid fuels, 20 though for petrol, and then 5 for gases, and 50 for lubricant. So very heavy oil is high on lubricant. Where if we look at light oil in here, why is this not doing what I want it to do? Hello? Oh, I'm on the wrong one. I need these up here. That's my problem. Okay, light oil. Distillation tower is only 15 for fuel, 10 for the other 3 liquid fuels, 25 for our gases, and then only 15 for the lubricant. So if you're wanting mostly gases, you run light oil. If you want mostly lubricant, you run heavy oil. What we want is liquid fuels. So what we want is raw oil, which will give us a flat amount almost all the way through, except we get a little bit of extra fuel and a little bit extra lubricant. So 25s and then 15s. And then the soul sand oil is again heavy on lubricant, very low on everything else. And along with that, you will get paraffin wax, asphalt, and petroleum coke, 10% chance of each one of them as a solid output. So if you're running a bedrock drill, soul sand oil, heavy oil is what you want because you need the lubricant. Right now, I don't need all the lubricant. So I could run the light, which will give me less, but it'll also give me more on gases. But since we have most everything running off of liquid fuels, we want liquid fuels. So we're going to go with the raw oil today. Or either one of these, honestly. We can do the raw oil, or we can do the regular BuildCraft style oil. Either one works. And we're going to need a chest. I'm actually going to use these 3 bronze mass storages, which I never melted down from the GT forts. Because honestly, don't really need to worry about it anymore. I have plenty of bronze. No reason to get rid of it. So we're just going to put these 3 right here. And we're going to run out from the very bottom one. That is where our items are going to come through. And we'll just put these in each one of those. The first one will go to the first available, then to the next, then to the next. And then we need to input our oil, which you can do on any of the bottom ones. I'm just going to do it here. For some reason, I have a thing with doing it on the left side, probably because I'm left-handed. So we're going to do that. We're going to give it a whack, and you'll see our oil is in there. So now we can hook up our burning boxes. Hi, how you doing? He must be the local oil processing inspector. Checking out the job I did. I got to get rid of this chicken. Alright, we're just going to take a stack of lignite and split it between the two of them, and that's what we're going to run it on for right now. Now, I will tell you that this does put out enough fuel to run itself. So you most definitely, if you want, can run this on like fuel that comes out. You can pick one of them, run it back through liquid burning boxes, and it'll work. Alright, so now kick that on and you'll see it starts up because we only need one of them, but we have both, so we're going to kick on both, and that's going to make it run faster. So now we should have wax, asphalt, petroleum coke, and as these fill up, I will turn them into regular piles and then blocks. Now, the paraffin wax, very useless. It is really only used for capsules. It's about the only thing you can do with it. You'll see we've already managed to make 360 propane. Get rid of this jerk real quick. Get back in here. So we made 450 and almost 800. Well, there's 800 fuel and 800 lubricant. So I'm going to let this fill up. It can hold quite a bit. And then I will work on getting tanks made, and we will plumb this up to tanks in the next one. I just need to make 7 Invar tanks to hold all the fuel. But now, because we have this, we can actually pipe all of these different fuels. The 3 on the bottom and the petrol are all liquid fuels. So rather than making the ethanol we have been, we can just make a 9-inch pipe that runs through the factory and connects to all of our engines, and it'll supply them with whichever one is available at the time. And because it's a 9-inch pipe, we can also run ethanol in it as well as we get that. Now, we will be hooking up another one of these for ethanol later, because if you look here in the recipe, there is biomass to ethanol with distilled water, glycerol, and methane. And that is the only recipe for biomass. All the rest are for oil. So we'll be doing that instead of the distillery eventually, because we're going to want that glycerol. Partly because we can take that glycerol, turn it into glycol, whichever way that is, use that to make our dynamite dust, and we can also mix it with our fuel and make nitro fuel, which is the shit. Nitro fuel burns for 576 heat units, where regular fuel runs for 384. That's 1 liter to 1 liter. So we get almost twice as much fuel value by using glycerol from biofuel to up our fuel value. So that is going to be it for today. If you have any questions, let me know. After we run through the drums we have, we're going to go out and see what we can do to find some regular GregTech oil, and we may even have, like right here is 2 BuildCraft oil spouts. We can go ahead and pump both of those and send them back over here. I think that's the only 2 of them that I have found so far, kind of looks like it. I don't think I found a desert yet. There may be more out here in this ocean. We'll have to take a look at that. But yeah, doesn't look like there's any more that I can spot quickly here. But yeah, I will leave you guys here, and I will see you guys in the next one. Have a good one.